Hi ladies, Amanda of the Branding Babe community here for lesson 3 of branding your client experience. This week I actually wanted to show my face on camera as opposed to just doing the screen share. So I'm going to start off by talking with you guys for a few minutes, and then I'm going to move back to screen sharing to delve a little deeper into the lesson. So lesson 3 is all about the inquiry follow-up experience in your client experience process and writing strong emails that connect to your clients. So last week's lesson and the week before that, we talked about a few different things. Lesson 1 was about creating workflows, and I actually talked a little about creating emails in HoneyBook in that lesson, so it's a good one to go back to. And then lesson 2, I talked about your introductory experience with your clients, so kind of revamping your website, doing a few action items there to get your website streamlined, and then importing HoneyBook contact forms into your site. So this is the follow-up process after that. Now that you've gotten the inquiry, we're going to talk about writing that follow-up email to your client, and then discuss how we can actually import and automate those emails into HoneyBook. So to be honest with you guys, this lesson was a bit of a learning experience for me as well. Even though I studied creative writing in college, I've made a lot of websites in my time and spoken with a lot of clients over email, I did a little research and I realized that even my email writing wasn't as strong as it could be. So I want to share with you guys a few things that I learned to make your email stronger, particularly your follow-up emails when you receive an inquiry. So I'm going to go through a few steps here that I think will help us write a killer first response email. Okay, so our number 1 email goal is educating our clients, coming from a place of education. Answering their questions of what they need right in that moment when they first inquire with us. So the fastest way to win them over is to understand, what do they need accomplished, what's the most important to them, and why do they need this. So really read through that first email they send you and try and understand where they're coming from and give them information that directly relates to whatever they're talking about. So the templates we come up with, although they might be packed with information, there might be certain pieces that are relevant to specific clients that come through the door. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later. So how do we first make a connection and how do we get our email read? We want to have a really good subject line. Before they even read the message, before they even open it, we want to draw them in. So instead of having a really standard subject line like inquiry follow-up or photography services, which sound very generic, try and connect to that person in an interesting way, like using their name. So say like, hey Sam, I'd love to be your personal brand photographer. Or, hi Erin, I would love to be your physical therapist. Or something along those lines, but make it feel personable, include their name, and include exactly what they wrote to you about in the subject line, and see if that makes any difference with how fast people are responding to your emails and opening them. Another good question, should I send my portfolio? And what I learned is that sometimes it can actually be overwhelming to send your entire portfolio or your entire website to somebody. Oftentimes people have already seen your work and seen your website, so they don't necessarily need to spend a long time looking through what you've already created. But instead of sending your whole portfolio, pick 1 or 2 items that you think will really connect to the specific client and the service that they're looking for. So for me, if I have a client coming in who is a yoga instructor, instead of sending my entire website link, maybe I'll send the portfolio or a gallery of another yoga instructor I've worked with that I think this person might really like similar images to. So instead of sending your whole portfolio, your whole website, your whole list of services, send things you think this client needs specifically just for them. Okay, and another thing to think about is to sell an outcome, not to sell yourself. So if somebody's been on your website, they've already read a lot about you, they've scrolled through your social media, they already know about you. They're contacting you because they like you and they want to work with you. So don't sell yourself. Don't use sentences like I and me. Try not to talk about yourself too much and your own accomplishments, but try and sell the outcome. So if a client is contacting you and they're asking you to design a website, instead of saying, I've designed websites for this many people and made this much money and this much whatever, instead, sell them the outcome. So a specific project that you worked on that you think you could do something similar for them. So maybe you designed a website for a real estate company. And it really helped them increase their sales and increase their profits that year after you design that website. So maybe share a little bit about that specific project. Again, instead of talking about all these things you've done and making it all about yourself, talking about a specific project or a specific thing that you've done that you think this client would really appreciate. Okay. And last but not least, how are we closing our emails? So we don't want to leave things open-ended. We don't want to leave things with statements like, let me know what you think, or let me know how I can help, or even ending with statements like, okay, what do you want to do next? These are really open-ended. They make your clients have to think a lot, and they make your clients have to do the work. So it's best to end emails with a yes or no question. So like, do you like this idea? Do you want to work with me? Or maybe they're interested in scheduling something. So instead of giving them a link and saying, okay, pick a time to talk to me, say, let's schedule a call. Does this time work? Are you available then? So these people have to respond to you. They have to respond to you in order to get the ball rolling. Our number one goals with emails is always to just get a response, to continue the conversation. Because as soon as a person stops reading, it's a lot less likely of a chance that they're going to come back to that email. So we really want to capture them the first time around, and we want to give them easy action items. So ending with a yes or no question or a really simple statement that encourages them to write a simple response is usually the best option. So I'm going to look at my initial inquiry email that I wrote a while back, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys what's wrong with it based on some of these things I've shared with you, and actually figure out how we can rewrite it with these new standards and these new steps that I've discussed. And we're going to write me a new inquiry email, and then I'm going to show you how to automate it through HoneyBook. Let's get started. Okay, ladies, so once you've logged into HoneyBook, please go to your templates section, and then go ahead and go to your email templates. So I'm going to pull that up, and we're going to go ahead and dive in. So I'm pulling up my hello and introduction email, which is my inquiry follow-up email. And I've written a draft in Microsoft Word, but I want to go over it with you guys. So this is the email I started with, and I'm going to read it to you, and we can see what we want to change together. So hi there, first client name. I am so excited to hear from you. You've taken a huge step in your business and asked for help to take your brand to the next level. I've been working with some of the most talented women small business owners and bloggers in the DC area to grow their personal brands for over 6 years now. As my own brand grew, I went from designing websites and marketing materials for boss babes to photographing them doing what they do best. I'm here to help you grow your brand using creative imagery that connects you to your ideal client base. Part of that process is getting to know you, because believe it or not, you are the most important brand asset, and we want your personality and passion to come alive in every image we take together. Do you mind sharing a little more about yourself? I'd love to know what inspired you to start your business in the first place and what your favorite part about your business is now. I'd also love to know how you found me and how you think personal brand photography will be a game changer for you. I'm thrilled to learn more about you and can't wait to hear your answers. In the meantime, I'll attach my pricing guide for you so you can learn about each of my individual services in more detail. If you love one of my services and can't wait to get the ball rolling on booking your shoot, let's schedule you a complimentary 15-minute brand discovery call. We'll go over any questions you might have about my pricing and process and get to know each other even better. Use this link to schedule your call. And if you have any questions, ask away. I'm all ears. XOXO, Amanda. So as I'm reading over this email now, although the language does seem on brand and it's cutesy and the writing is engaging, there are a few things that I don't think really work as well after learning a few of the things that we just learned. The first few things I'm going to highlight are the fact that I'm not talking to the individual client on a personal level when I first open the email. So I want to say something a little bit about them in the email they sent me previously in my first line. The next thing is that I talked about myself a lot in this paragraph, as if they hadn't heard about me yet or read through my website or any of that. And the truth is that somebody who's coming to me probably already knows a little bit about me, whether it's been from a referral or from reading something online. So I really don't need this section. Like we talked about, we want to educate, but we don't necessarily want to talk about ourselves. We want to talk about the outcome. So instead of talking about kind of general things about the success behind my business, I think I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about a specific project that I think this client could connect to, or specific work that I think might inspire them with their own brand. And then these two sections here aren't so bad, but the thing is, I want to kind of edit the questions a little bit. And again, I want them to be more centered around what the person has actually sent me, more personal. And I don't necessarily want to end it with my pricing guide either. I'd rather talk to people about pricing on the phone. So I think instead here I'm going to have a welcome guide. If they want to read more, then I'll attach it, leave it open-ended. But really my goal is to get them to schedule a call or to get to know them a little better from this first email. So I think I'm going to leave it with an open-ended question that encourages them to write me back as soon as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rewrite this email and work on the draft, and then I'm going to come back and show you the new one. So hang in there just a sec. Okay, ladies, so I'm back. I have redone my email, particularly looking at the different steps we discussed earlier in the lesson, and I just want to read it to you so you can hear all of the details, and then I'll show you specifically what I changed. Okay, so the first thing is the subject line. Before I just had it as welcome or inquiry follow-up. Now it says, hi, client name. I'd love to be your personal brand photographer. Okay, so hi there. Thank you so much for getting in touch. You've taken a huge step in your business and asked for help to take your brand to the next level. It's so funny because I actually just worked with one of my amazingly talented clients who reminds me of you. We took images for her business, name there, brand, to grow her social following and boost her professional image. Here's some of my favorite images from her gallery. That's where I insert the link. We could totally do something similar for your brand. Before I share too much about myself, I'd love to learn more about you, because believe it or not, you are the most important brand asset, and we want your personality and passion to come alive in every image we take together. Do you mind sharing a little more about yourself? I'd love to know what inspired you to start your business in the first place, and what your favorite part about your business is now. If you do want to learn a little bit more about me and the services I offer, I've attached my welcome guide for you to take a peek through. It's got tons of info on how I offer each and every client a truly transformational experience behind the camera. For now, I'd love to know where you're at with your brand and what inspired you to reach out. What are you hoping to achieve through a personal brand shoot? ? With confidence, Amanda. And then P.S. If you have any questions for me, ask away. I'm all ears. So I have adjusted a few things here. I kept the first line the same. Obviously, I changed the subject. But instead of talking about myself in the second paragraph, I decided to talk about a client who reminds me of the person inquiring, and talk about a specific project that we worked on and share that link. And then, before going into too much detail about myself, I asked more questions about the person inquiring. And I do mention that I've attached a welcome guide. I'm going to adjust it so it doesn't have any pricing and it's phrased a little differently. And I'll show you that in our next lesson because we'll be talking about guides. And then I end the email with a question: what are you hoping to achieve through a personal brand shoot? So I hope that inspires new inquiries to respond to me. I think what I like about it too is it takes away the pressure to book right away or do anything like that. Or I feel like it takes away some of the sales pressure, and it's all about just getting to know each other and answering questions back and forth. So I hope it makes it easier for clients inquiring, and that it's a little more friendly. Okay, so now that this is in here, I am going to show you how to mess with the rest of these templates. So if you're not already in HoneyBook or your CRM software, now's the time to do so. Go ahead and pull up any email templates you already have or anything you've been working on. I'm going to go into the sidebar here to show you where all the rest of my templates are. So I have a ton of templates. And honestly, now that I've rewritten my first email, I'm probably going to go back and have to rewrite some of the rest of these and rearrange some of them. But I really just want to show you how to edit these. So I'm going to go to, let's see, book strategy call is my second email, and I'm going to pull that up so we can take a peek at that. I'm not going to edit the email right away, but I'm going to show you guys how to actually edit the templates. Okay, so you can type in here just like anything else. You can bold things. You don't have to bold things. You can attach links, so highlight, go to the insert link icon, links to websites, galleries, all that good stuff. You can add the client name, so that's really important. So client name here, if you hit this little box, it'll do the auto response, autofill option. Obviously, you can mess with all of your formatting, break things up as you would any normal regular email. Subject line is up here, and then your signature is at the bottom. So you actually have to edit your signature in a different spot. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. But the email editing in Honeybook is really simple, guys, and all your templates are right in here. And if you want to change the name of the template, all you have to do is type in up here, and it's done. So I'm going to show you how we access all of these and also show you how to edit the email signature. So I'm going to go back to my templates, blah, blah. Okay, so your email signature template is down here. I only have one right now. I suppose I could add others, but I'm really just using the one. So if I get rid of this box, it'll just ask to add an image or icon. So I'm going to click on that. You can drop one, or you can choose one from your library that's already here. Obviously, I already have one in the library. Where is it? I'm going to pull it up. So this is the one I chose. I used to have a lot more pictures in here, but I like this one. All right, so I'm going to use that and save it. And then same thing, you can add your name. I have my website link here, which for some reason doesn't look like it's active, and that's really annoying. Yes, link. Well, that's silly. Okay, guys, make sure that your links are actually working, because like if you just type in .com, sometimes it doesn't work. So I'm gonna type in my website link, which is under construction right now, and then I'm just gonna copy this and move it over. Please make sure your links work. Okay. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, so my phone number's there. Obviously, they already have my email. Then I just have my title and everything. And so you can, same as everything else, bold, underline, all that good stuff. And like most things in Honeybook, it automatically saves when you're done. So once you go out, it should be saved. Okay. This a second. And last but not least, let me show you how to actually use these handy dandy templates. I showed you how to put them into the workflows in the very first lesson. Hey Dulce, thanks for accepting my request. Let's see. Okay, I was gonna look for a project there. But I'm gonna pull up another project. Let's see. This is old, but I'm gonna pull up Cynthia's project. I archive a lot of my projects to keep my page clean. I'm a little bit of a neat freak, if you can't tell. But let me show you how we actually access the templates from a project page. So if I want to send email to Cynthia, I can check right in here, and I can actually click down here and just pull from my templates. So if I want to use that introduction email, I'm just going to click it, and it's automatically going to pop in here. So the only thing I'm going to have to do is customize it for the client. So type in and edit and all that good stuff, and attach anything else I need to attach. And then the other way to do it is through your workflow. So go back to lesson 1 to see how you input the template into your workflows and send things out that way. But otherwise, it's really easy, guys. Editing the emails is easy. Automating them is easy. Making the templates is easy. It's just the writing them that's the difficult part. So I wish you luck on that authorial journey, and I'll see you guys next week. Okay, have a good night.